Mr. Stevens here with another video. This time we're talking about compound interest, the second type of interest that we need to look at. What our goal today is going to be is to calculate the final value of compound interest investments. So if I'm depositing a certain amount of money at a certain interest rate for a certain amount of time, how much am I going to have left if we're dealing with compound interest? And just like simple interest, we have a formula for this. We have a compound interest formula. Let's talk a little bit about what exactly compound interest is. So when we were dealing with simple interest, we were talking about just simply if there's $1,000 and it's 10% per year, then every year you're earning $100 interest. It doesn't matter how long you invest that for. If it's simple interest, it's just $100 every year. The thing that's different about compound interest is that we update the starting amount of money every year. Okay, so for instance, if we invest $100 at 10% for 1 year, this line here is basically simple interest. But after this first year, and this is where things get different. So the first year the interest is $10. So the total amount of money is $110. Now on the second year, we actually update the principal. We update the starting amount of money to this new amount and then recalculate our 10%. So this time the interest is $11 instead of $10. And then you add on your $11 to the total, and then in the next year we update the starting amount again. And this time the 10% that's calculated is different. So this is a kind of long process to go through. Imagine if you were trying to calculate how much money you had after 15 years. You would have to do this process 15 times. Well, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to use this handy formula here. So they use different terms here. When it says FV, what they mean is A. A should be here. I won't cross out that FV because you will sometimes see it written as final value. And it says P down here, but the place where P should be is here, PV. It might be worth it for you guys writing down both of those. So write down one version of the formula where it says A equals P, 1 plus R to the power of N, and one that says FV and PV. They mean exactly the same thing, but you will see both versions of the formula depending on where you look. Now, R and N are exactly the same as they were when we had simple interest. Nothing has changed there. Just the position of these numbers in the formula is a little bit different. Now, the other formula we need to know is we need to know how to just have the interest. Remember when it was simple interest, our formula told us the interest straight away. And if we wanted the total amount, we had to add the interest to what we started with. Well, when we're using compound interest formula, the compound interest formula actually gets us straight to here in the first go. So if we want to come back to know the interest, we have to take that final amount and subtract what we started with, and what's left is the interest. If that's a little bit confusing now, that's okay. I think it will make a lot more sense once we see an example. Let's go ahead and jump into this example. Our friend Paige has invested $5,000 over 5 years at a compound interest rate of 6.5%. Let's calculate how much money she has at the end of those 5 years. Right. Part A. Always start by writing down the formula. Can't stress that enough. Especially because this formula is a little bit more complicated than the simple interest formula. Now we're going to start replacing the letters with numbers that we know from the question. The principal is $5,000. The starting amount of money is $5,000. 1 plus the interest rate is 6.5%. So I'm putting it in as a decimal. If you have the percentage button, welcome to use it. And then the time period is not N. The time period is 5 years. Now it's just a matter of popping this into our calculator. Your calculator should give you $6,850.4331, something like that. So we're just going to round it off to 2 decimal places. And because the number after my cutoff is less than 5, this number does not change. Alright, that's part A. At the end of 5 years, the total amount of money she has is $6,850. But the second part of this question is to just isolate exactly how much interest did she earn. Well, we're going to use our formula here. The final amount minus what we started with. The final amount is what we calculated. And what we started with was $5,000. Pop that in your calculator, and the answer will be $1,850.43. Sorry, that's a very messy zero. Let me rewrite that. And there we go. That's as simple as it's going to get today. We're just remembering our formula, writing down our formula, and plugging in the numbers. I'm going to do one more example for you with our friend James here. Start by writing down the formula. Put in the numbers from the question. 50,000 right there. 1 plus 11% right there. And then the little number up here is 4, because we're talking about 4 years. That goes into our calculator. Oh, I've missed something here, guys. I've missed a key point. There's a key difference in this question. The interest is compounding monthly. Remember back when we were dealing with simple interest, when we had a different time period that wasn't in years, we just converted it to be in years. And actually, it works exactly the same way here with the compound interest formula. All we've got to do is add in a times by 12 and divided by 12 here on our rate and our n. So let me change this a little bit. It's now 11% divided by 12, and it's 4 times 12. Okay, why have we done this? Because this interest rate is the per annum interest rate. So we need to divide our interest rate by 12 months in the year to get the per month interest rate. Now we're timesing n by 12, our 4 years, we're timesing them by 12, because we're not interested in how many years we're dealing with, we're interested in how many months. Because our interest is compounding monthly, our number of time periods, n, needs to be months, not years. So this is changing our time period to months. Alright, now that all goes into our calculator. and we come up with 77,479. And it keeps going on. Let's round it off. Again, this number is less than 5, so our number is not going to change. And again, part B, working out the interest. It's just what we calculated minus what we started with. 77,479 and 90 cents minus the amount we started with, $50,000. I've run out of room, so I'm going to write my answer next to it. That is $27,479.90. Alright, so we have used the compound interest formula. You guys are going to have plenty of opportunities to practice this over the next couple lessons. So if you're still a bit not sure of it now, don't worry. It's all going to be sorted out after you guys have had a chance to practice it. Feel free to ask for my help. This one is going to be a little bit more difficult when we need to change the time periods. So you can look back at this example that I've done for months and have a go yourself. But if you need help, don't hesitate to ask. Here's the work I need you guys to do. Get started on that.